The reality of the most surprising collaboration in the history of basketball has been made public at last. Additionally, it's going to alter everything we believed to be true regarding the sport. Sophie Caitlin Clark. Three names are Cunningham, Larry Bird, and something no one anticipated seeing together, just made the statement that has everyone in the basketball world talking. With amazement and astonishment when the biggest star in the WNBA teams up with of its fiercest competitors and couples with an NBA Hall of Fame celebrity. You are aware of something remarkable is going to occur. However, what might perhaps bring these three basketballs symbols collectively? What project may be thus important that this was necessary? Unprecedented cooperation? The consequences of this collaboration might transform women's basketball indefinitely and provide chances that were overlooked approaching. The company Caitlin Clark founded herself as the most transforming WNBA player in history. Her influence on the scope of women's basketball goes much beyond figures, as she has independently generated millions of new admirers for the sport and produced previously unheard-of audience for television. The impact of Clark penetrates all facets of the WNBA, from retail and ticket sales income from television contracts. Additionally, she attendance at games regularly sells out venues that have previously had trouble with attendance, as well as her social media accounts beyond that of many well-known professional athletes throughout every sport. Sophie Cunningham is an example of the spirit of competition and the experience of leadership that characterizes excellence in the WNBA. With the Phoenix Mercury as a player, Cunningham has established herself as among the league's most persistent clutch players and defenders, providing is an essential component of championship-chasing teams. Cunningham's style of play reflects the physical aggression that has defined the professional lives of women basketball's development over time. Her readiness to accept tasks against the top players in the league and her outspoken court leadership has made her a well-liked person in both opponents as well as teammates. The work of Larry Bird's reputation as one of the best basketball players and the most prosperous businesspeople offers unmatched reputation and familiarity with any basketball-related attempt. He won 3 NBA titles as one of the Boston Celtics players, and his later achievement as a leader with the Indiana Pacers show off his concept of basketball excellence at the greatest levels. The Ling of Arwen. The WNBA season was determined by Archer Seif. By Caitlin Clark's revolutionary presence. As her first campaign broke in television and attendance records numbers of viewers and merchandise sales around the league. Her influence produced a phenomena in culture that went much beyond the conventional basketball fans. Clark's capacity to create attention in the mainstream media for women's basketball is a metaphor for conflict. Significant change in the way that sports are viewed and ingested by the general public. Games that frequently feature Clark featured on Prime on major sports networks. Her highlights and time programming turned into social media content that went viral and attracted millions of views. The financial ramifications of Clark's presence has been astounding for the WNBA. As league earnings rise drastically as a result of her turning on marketability, business backers who having previously expressed little interest in women's basketball had its start in an active looking for collaborations and advertising chances. The way she plays, which blends a remarkable shooting range with inventive passing skills, possesses affected the way that young players approach talent improvement and has sparked a fresh 6 basketball players in one generation to play professional basketball for women. As a feasible professional route, there are queries on how Clark's impact may keep growing outside of her playing career and the potential prospects that exist in order to use her fame to bring about long-lasting improvements in women's sports and the culture of basketball in general. Sophie Cunningham has played in the WNBA for 5 years. Characterized by her unwavering work ethic, defensive vigor, and capacity to perform throughout pivotal times for championship-chasing teams. Her part as an experienced leader has evolved into growing significance as the league changes and new players join professional basketball. Cunningham's strategy for the game is the conventional WNBA basketball ideals. Physical protection, a focus on the team, and a resolute dedication to victory. Her readiness to take on challenging defensive tasks and her vocal during games, leadership has gained esteem around the league. Her experience performing with some of the best WNBA players, such as Diana Brittany Gurrier and Taurasi with the Phoenix Mercury, has given her access to information about the championship level, the mindset and basketball culture need for long-term success at the on a professional level. The difference between Cunningham's viewpoint as a veteran and Clark's reputation as a rookie sensation generates a fascinating dynamic that might offer insightful information on the development of women's careers basketball and the connection between both well-known athletes and up-and-coming talents. Legal professionals question if veterans Cunningham and similar players might be used as links between several generations of WNBA athletes. Izafari, supporting the upkeep of competitive norms while accepting the modifications that recent celebrities like Clark deliver to the league. The work of Larry Bird among the basketball credentials are 3 NBA titles, 3 straight MVP honors, Reno, and acknowledgement as one of the best basketball players history. His level of competition, and in period was distinguished by basketball intellect. Of NBA brilliance and established requirements for professional basketball accomplishment. After he performed career, Bird's executive success while playing with the Indiana Pacers showed his the capacity to assess potential, develop competing groups, and negotiate the intricate commercial facets of a professional basketball. His guidance was beneficial. Make the Pacers a reliable team, regarded and a playoff candidate franchise. The relationship between Birds and Indiana as he grew up, basketball culture permeated his life in the state and thereafter worked as the Pacers' executive and coach arrangement. His comprehension of basketball customs and fandom in Indiana expectations give important background information for any projects pertaining to basketball within the Plegian. His standing as integrity, superiority in competition, and his basketball acumen makes him a reliable source for assessing ability and giving basketball advice growth and career advancement chances in the sport. The consequences could indicate that Bird's participation in any basketball-related project would immediately provide credibility and draw in serious basketball fans who value his accomplishments and discernment. The convergence of NBA and WNBA players' legends is a trend that is becoming more popular towards cooperation and assistance between men's and professional basketball for women. This evolution is a reflection of shifting perspectives on the worth and caliber of women's basketball in comparison to conventional basketball viewers. Prominent endorsements and NBA legends endorsements provide legitimacy to women's basketball as perceived by casual admirers who may have previously disregarded the WNBA as being beneath amusement. These collaborations produce chances for cross-promotion and audiences in common. The commercial prospects generated by fusing NBA and WNBA star power credibility might lead to income streams and sponsorship agreements that beyond anything either party could do on their own. Business sponsors appreciate genuine collaborations that extend various audiences. Networks of television and content benefits media firms that appeals to both conventional basketball enthusiasts and the expanding viewership for sports involving women. Programming that includes both WNBA and NBA players can draw in more viewers and increased rates of advertising. Queries emerge of how these cooperative connections might have an impact on the growth of basketball for women and whether assistance from NBA players may quicken the increase in attendance, you understand, the number of views and financial prosperity for the WNBA. One region where Clark's combination Cunningham's competitiveness and popularity expertise, as well as Bird's basketball knowledge might have a big influence involves growth of young basketball and coaching education initiatives that benefit young athletes at every level of the athletics. High-quality basketball is necessary. Programs for mentoring and instruction have expanded with the involvement of young people. Parents as young gamers look for genuine guidance from those who have attained the greatest levels of accomplishment of basketball's professional leagues. Clark's the capacity to motivate young athletes, especially young ladies, in conjunction with Cunningham's comprehension of growth of competition and Bird's understanding of the basics of basketball, might lead to all-encompassing growth programs that focus on both abilities growth and a spirit of competition. The credibility and financial resources need to initiate large-scale evolution of basketball. Initiatives frequently surpass what particular players are capable of supply, forming alliances between many basketball players and appealing method for producing initiatives that are sustainable. Legal professionals observe that programs for juvenile development need meticulous preparation, appropriate licenses, and thorough insurance protection, making the participation of knowledgeable basketball players are essential for establishing authentic and efficient chances for schooling. Where the amusement value of blending the characteristics of various basketball eras and levels produce prospects for engaging content for TV networks, streaming platforms as well as social media firms. Businesses want to acquire basketball viewers from a variety of demographic backgrounds. Clark's enormous fan base on social media, paired with the deference that Cunningham and Bird are in charge of devoted basketball fans, might produce significant audience size for the documentary projects, educational materials, or programming that is competitive and includes their cooperation. The narrative possibility of assembling a novice sensation, an experienced athlete, and a legendary character's craft stories. Chances that could be of interest to both casual sports and basketball purists, consumers of entertainment who appreciate material that is motivated by personality. Manufacturing businesses and media outlets have demonstrated growing enthusiasm for women's sports content. Wrote specific projects that have identifiable personalities and genuine basketball legitimacy instead of staged drama or dispute. There are inquiries on